Hello everyone, Nick Shaheen here looking at GE, good old General Electric. Up again today, almost 3%. Who'd have thunk it? I did! Okay, so I will start this by saying I was a fan and I said long when it was under 7. I had just rolled out of winnings in Ford. Same concept, betting on a good old American company that doesn't get respect. It still cranks out the cash, and finally, in this case, the management team fixed the company and now the stock is fixing itself. So I am not bearish GE. I'm not a hater. I was long before these guys were long it. Who are these guys? Now suddenly Goldman Sachs loves it up here. When it was under 7, I said look out for the breakout. I'm going to buy leaps into next year, and those leaps delivered, I don't know, 20 times. The win was huge. And the point is today is if I'm starting today, I'm making a mistake, and I'm going to tell you why. This is pure chart talk. Fundamentally, the company is still set to operate in the right areas. I think they have power, healthcare, renewable energy, and aviation is going to make a comeback once the actual vaccines start working and people start flying. Flying is falling backwards. The TSA screenings apparently are falling again. I track it, and the weekly is tapered down, but this is seasonal. Where did Thanksgiving fall last year versus this year, kind of a deal. But overall, we hit a plateau. We're still down 65% to last year in total screenings in the TSA in the U.S. So people are not flying. I did. I flew for vacation. I flew 2 or 3 times in between that. I went to Texas for Thanksgiving, and I can tell you the plane there was half empty, and that was the only half empty plane I've been in this year. The plane back was packed. There's no empty middle seat. I don't know what the heck the guy was talking about on CNBC today. Every seat was taken, and there were people on standby. So there is no social distancing on plane. Anyway, back to the subject here. GE, I wouldn't start longs here, not because it's not going to go higher, because it's the wrong thing to do from a trading perspective. Now, if I want to own it for a decade, you don't need to watch a video about it. You own it because you know what you know. Okay, so this is a 4-hour chart. So I'm going to show you something. I'm not showing my drawings. I'm going to put up my drawings and point out the reason why I'm a little cautious. So these are the drawings I had. Look here, down here. Resistance but trigger. Resistance but trigger. Each one was a trigger, and basically this was my trade right here. Anything above here, go. And I jumped the gun. I said, this is a great American company. I'm going to jump the gun. I usually don't with leaps out. And now I changed these to be support. I changed the wordings on these today because this resistance, I made it support because now we're above it, right? So here's what I'm looking at. Resistance from November through March. And I'll show you why this is important. So we have support zones. It's not like I'm going to call a death of GE. I'm saying it should drift down back down to 10. The chat room was open. That's what you're hearing down below. You can join the chat room. It's free to try it out. There is a credit card transaction, but it's $0. The only reason it's there on PayPal, first, I need to protect my community. We have hundreds of people, and I don't want to bring trolls among us. The only way I can do that is by verifying somebody with a credit card transaction for $0. 10 days to cancel. So we do good work like this. We do this all day, every day. All right, back to here. So a dip towards 10 would be buyable, and I'll tell you why in a little bit after I deliver the quote bad news. So let's zoom out in time, and I want to concentrate on 3 lines. These 3 lines right here. So back in, I want to say December, maybe November, December of last year, I drew these lines. I usually draw them and I stop. And you can see they were important back then. It was a good range that it was trading inside of. And look where it is right now. The middle one is exactly today's, it's like right now's price. So they were important then, they're important now. If I extend it, you'll see they played an important role here and here. This is the reason I'm cautious today. So this is 2 major fails, and they're just above today. So onus is on the bulls to take those out. In my experience, they don't blow through them at first try. They hit, they fall back to gather steam, and what happens is some weak hands shake out, newer buyers come in with better conviction, a different thesis, and that's how you draw a handle to the cup. And let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to change the time frame. Wait, what did I see back there? Okay, never mind. Okay, so this is a daily chart. So here's where the next trade in this bad boy would be. So if I'm chasing this rally, I missed most of it, if not all of it. So I should wait for the reload. So if I'm right, and this indeed a resistance level, and then we fade, remember, the markets are at all-time highs, and they cannot stop making all-time highs. They're just buying every garbage stock out there. Buy. The airline stock today comes out and says it's going to be terrible going forward. It's going to be really, what was his word? Something like incredibly tough or something. Everybody's buying his stock. Like the CEO is telling you it's going to be tough. Nope, I'm going to buy it anyway. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, so this would be ideal. Fade, come back, and tackle it. What does this look like to you? Giant cup and handle. Giant upside potential to take out this mess. This is going to be a huge resistance up here. They're not going to be able to do it on thin ground. They should fail. It's better for the bulls if they fail. It doesn't have to be to 10. Any consolidate, like drop a little bit, consolidate sideways. You don't have to drop actually. You consolidate sideways a little bit. Then it becomes some sort of an ABC move like this. Same deal. Just rest. Build a better base so you can attack this giant problem area to take it out. And if you do, then the bears are dead tired and they get overwhelmed and run over by the bulls. They'll try to put up a fight here, but I don't think they would be able to stop them. So again, let me rephrase what I'm saying today. I've been bullish since down here, so I earned the right to say up here it's a bit late to get into it. What is this? 60% just from here, and if you took the whole rally, it's probably 70-80%. It's never an obvious entry point. I like the fundamentals. I like what they're doing. Management is not making flubs anymore. Let's see some of the metrics. I mean, this is a company that still cranks out 100 billion in revenues. So it had no respect before. I mean, people were talking about companies that had 2 million in revenues like they were champs, and this one is a loser. That was not right. Price to sales is 1. What does that mean? There's absolutely no hopium built into the price. So the owners of the stock are not dreaming. Like, they are paying as much as it's delivering in sales right now. As opposed to, I always go back to Zoom. It's like 110 last time I checked. You want the most expensive one is, what was that? Snowflake. It's over 200. 200 years worth of sales baked into their price right now. Zoom, it's 100. This one, speaking of Zoom, watch out if they're your longs. Today it alerted bearish. Price to sales is whatever they're delivering now. No hope. What concerns me is the 28 PE. So this is a pretty high PE. Like, I don't know. Google is probably 32, 33. Facebook is 32, 33. Apple is 36. So this is like high growth companies. So I don't know if they have the growth yet. So I don't know if they earned the right for that. So we'll have to see how the revenue, because if you're a growth company, then maybe I can give you a pass. It's going to air on me. I can give you a pass on the high PE, but I don't think they're there yet. So I'm not bearish the company. I was bullish down here. I'm just saying if I'm long, I'm booking. I booked way long before that. And if I'm looking to get long, I probably want to buy it on the dip. If my longs, the thesis is super long term, then it probably won't matter. But if I'm someone who wants to start off on the right foot and not grab a handful of red, I would want to buy it at a place that's not likely to be a mistake short term. So the markets have never been happier. The buyers have never been more in control than this, in spite of tremendous trepidation in the news. And so it has all the tailwinds. Take one of those out, what happens? So I hate to put out a somewhat negative note, but it's really not. I'm just saying, hold your horses a little bit. Okay, how about this? Chase it after the breakout. See if they can take out, for me, 11.55, 11.6. Then they could whoosh up to close this little gap right there to the next problem area, which is 12.50. That gives you $1. You're saying $1. Well, it's $1 on an $11 basis, so it's pretty significant. All right, Nick signing out. Don't give me hate in the notes. I promise you, I've got an American flag out on my patio, which the association is telling me to take it down. I'm going to tell them to go suck a lemon. So I went and bought another one that says, come take it. Yeah, anyway, Nick signing out.